Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval. Today we'll be reviewing the second set of guns for Luda, or the Xi'an destroyer. They have slightly different stats. We get more armor-piercing penetration, but we lose a little bit of damage. But we also get a lot more armor-piercing damage, but we lose a lot of the shell velocity. We lose 80 meters per second compared to the 950 meters per second we had for the first set. And honestly, I don't use armor piercing that much with this destroyer, so I will probably not be using these guns themselves. But before that, I do want to let you know there are a couple new sister ships that came out since today was update day. We have Louisiana, which I've renamed the original ship Louisiana and have now renamed the sister ship Ohio. And it's really nice camo. Look at how beautiful this ship looks. Yeah, they did a very good job on that. And then we also have a sister ship for Lion. I have renamed her St. Vincent. Yeah, I'm not disappointed. It's a nice low-key camo, I guess you could say. Not anything bright, but not anything that's not really a camo either. Tai-Ho, I'm looking at you. So yeah, the ship is pretty nice too. And then we have the preview for Victorious, that 9.2 British prism carrier with F4 Phantoms. We will eventually be doing our own video on her, as we usually do. However, one thing I do want to point out right now is that she will only have fighters and dive bombers. No ability to carry any kind of missile aircraft or torpedo bombers at all. So we'll have to see how these aircraft work. But this is the ship itself. It does look quite powerful, but we'll have to see. Alright, so going back to Luda herself, everything else is the same. There's no difference in torpedoes, gun range, health, stats, AA, speed, nothing else. Just the different guns. So I need to actually make sure I equip them, and let's toss her into a game. Alright, now ourselves a game, 3 battleships, 2 cruisers, and 5 destroyers. So yeah, HE all the way, but we'll try to have some armor-piercing salvos to see how that works as well. Looks like we have some good cruisers to get some AP damage on. So I do have health buffs and speed buffs applied, so do keep that in mind. And let's start heading towards the left side. So gun angles, not terrible, actually, pretty decent. And the amazing torpedo angles on the ship are to die for. Definitely would recommend getting this ship. Alright, so we're just making our way down here. I do have her equipped with speed boost and smoke screen. You can also equip her with torpedo reload booster and defensive AA as options, but I prefer to use smoke since she is a good gunboat to shoot from concealment. And then she's not necessarily slow, but I do like the fast speed with the speed boost as well. And so fully concealed, she does have 6.2 kilometer detectability, which isn't always the greatest, but it's usable, I guess. And then base torpedo range is 10 kilometers. However, I do have the cruise skill, which extends my range, so I have 11 kilometer torpedoes. And alright, so it looks like we have a cruiser and a battleship over there. Alright, so we have one Lion on this side. I'm expecting 3 destroyers on this side, so we'll have plenty of targets to engage. Plus a cruiser, and then maybe 1 or 2 battleships. Well, there's the cruiser. There's a battleship over there. Yep, there's one of the destroyers. So we're actually going to slow down and start gunning her down. I haven't played this ship in a while, so let's see how our shell velocity is. It's 950 meters per second. So it should actually be, yep, there we go, pretty decent, I would say. Ooh, good damage. This thing melts ships so fast. Bye. Next. As you can see, the ship is just so good and high explosive. I don't really see why you need to use armor piercing on her. Of course, we do have a cruiser coming out in a moment that we'll be able to test that on. In fact, I'll switch right now. Alright, so let's see. We have increased armor piercing damage. However, our shell velocity is quite noticeably different. Wow, that's a lot of difference. And it's not for much gain. Yes, Alaska is a pretty... Actually, we're just going to stop and smoke up. And we're going to send... Well, I wanted to send some torps out. But our team is there. But yeah, it doesn't look like we're doing much damage against her. Maybe I need to aim a little bit more forward. But yeah, I'm not really feeling these shells. These shells seem really slow. Let's go back to high explosive. Like, you can see the difference. And as you can see, I'm getting plenty of damage with my high explosive. Yeah, you just have to aim for the superstructure pretty much. Look at that, 2,500 damage in high explosive. Then even if you aim for like the bow, you can try and light the bow on fire. And have the firework over the ship and do the damage for you. Now in this case I'm still shattering. But that doesn't matter because she's already sunk. Alright, cool. Let's go tangle with these battleships now. Maybe we can get a fire started on one of them. And we can try our armor piercing out once we get a little bit closer to see if we have any luck with that as well. And maybe get some torpedoes out too. Right, so let's see how our armor piercing does from range. Though it looks like our high explosive is doing pretty decent. Remember, we do have the increased armor penetration value. We believe we have 26 millimeters of pen now. So cruisers like Alaska and battleships usually have more than 26, so that's why we were not able to get through easily. Alright, so let's see what we can do on the broadside of line with our armor piercing. Wow, 3,000 damage? Over 3,000? Oh, so that's... Oh, jeez, hi. That's not terrible. So it looks like this armor piercing is focused more on targets like battleships, maybe? Because I'm getting some decent damages on battleships, but on that Alaska, I wasn't really getting anything. Also, if you couldn't tell, I actually haven't used these gun layout before. So this is a first for me, trying to see how it works. Alright, high explosive works without a problem. I do not appreciate the fire, thank you. I'm going to rush you down with torpedoes, and sink the other one with torpedoes as well. We have actually lost quite a bit of health. I don't know if that's all from the enemy ships. I think I got a little bit... Yeah, I got some damage from her. She's pink. So she got a lot of damage into me. But that's fine. We still have our health buffs to keep us alive. And I will take the line down as well in a moment. And I would also like to not burn. Thank you. Right, there we go. Alright, so we did beach for a second here, so we'll just have to get ourselves out of this. predicament, and we are just barely holding on to our health right now. Alright, so we might be able to get some more damage on this lean, but I don't really want to tangle with the Bismarck. Especially with this limited amount of health. Yeah, no thanks. Alright, but I do think she's going to end up beating at least one of the lions, and possibly both of them. But we'll see. Alright, so I want to try my armor piercing on lean. Ooh, we're actually in range of the Bismarck. And out of secondary range, so maybe we can try and light some fires? And maybe send some torpedoes downrange? Yeah, we'll just spread out some torpedoes, see if we get lucky, but I don't have any grand illusions that we're gonna hit. Actually, we might as well... Wow, there's a wreck right there. Cool. Might as well sit here and try and farm her from concealment while our speed boost reloads. That way we can rush down the cruiser and not have to worry about the battleship at all. And so our high explosive to the superstructure is getting quite a bit of damage. I do enjoy that. It looks like all of our torpedoes are going to miss because she turned away. That's fine. Like I said, I didn't really think we were going to get any torpedo hits anyways. But we were able to get a couple fires, and that will definitely help us. Alright, let's see if we can get a little bit more damage. We just kind of have to tickle her to death right now. Oh, she's healing. But she's still burning, though I do think she's going to start putting those fires out soon. And then the drawback of our fast shell velocity is that we may not be able to clear this island. Though it looks like we're not having any issues with that right now. There's another fire. We have 3 fires going. That should be her down. Goodbye. Awesome, cool. And then we have the lean. Our speed boost is up, and our smoke screen's down too, so that worked out perfectly. Let's see, can I see which way you're going? You're kind of going this way. Alright, we're starting heading towards the ship at 44.4 knots. Our ship is a little scuffed up. That's alright. Alright, cool. Some long range shots coming in for her. Let's kind of keep our distance. O-Class has 5km secondaries and rapid firing 11-inch guns, I'm pretty sure. And then I don't really want to be anywhere close to those. Though I think I am the only one spotting her, so I can't really smoke up. But let's see what our armor piercing can do. Well, it can ricochet, it looks like. Okay, so that's not a good angle for armor piercing. I think... Wow, she still managed to hit us. So I think the spotter aircraft that's right above me will be able to spot her. Or the fighter, I should say. So let's see if we can work her down with our guns instead. Since I don't really have any illusions of me landing any torpedo hits. I can still try. But we got a fire, that's nice. Not a good angle for armor piercing. It's just still going to ricochet. Though she keeps turning like that, I will switch over to armor piercing. Destroying some secondaries. Alright, so here comes the armor piercing. Let's see what we can do. Alright, it's solid damage, but not really any big numbers. And it looks like we might actually get a torpedo hit. That'll help us. I will switch back over to high explosive. And we did get a torpedo hit and a flooding. And let's just see if we can finish her off with the high explosive. And there we go. Awesome. Alright, so let's see how we did. Considering we actually had a pretty close game, health-wise, we were almost sunk. 273,000 damage, 7 ships sunk, 452 shell hits, 9 torpedo hits, 9 fires, 3 floodings, 1 module destroyed for over 10,600 base XP and almost, well, over 850 free XP for a diamond ship. This is not a prism ship. 134,000 damage in main battery, 69,000 was in high explosive, 65,000 was in armor piercing, so pretty much an even split there. Fires, however, did almost 50,000 damage, with a little bit from flooding, and then torpedoes almost did 90,000 damage themselves. I wish I could see how much damage that Alaska did to me, but I cannot. Regardless, though, gun-wise... Alright, so these are the original ones. You might want to take the second set simply for that HE piercing bonus to 26 millimeters. And use armor piercing all that much, you don't really have to worry about the loss of armor piercing initial velocity. Because if you don't use it, you don't have any drawback. But this one is a pretty all-around good setup. You have fast armor piercing and high explosive shell, so you don't really have to keep in mind which to lead more or whatever. Your high explosive piercing, even though it's 3 millimeters less, I never really had a problem with it to begin with. And you still are able to get even 100 more damage for HE max damage as well. 150 for AP is not that much. 2600 itself is not that much either. You might have better luck against lightly armed targets, so ships such as Takao or even Worcester if she's tossed into those games. Probably not the German ones. Oh, there's Neptune too. Oh yeah, the armor piercing will tear Neptunes apart, so that might be good. And then Kostroma. I think Kostroma has pretty decent armor for a cruiser, at least against guns of this caliber. But yeah, so it's really up to you. Honestly, I'm still torn on which ones I would like to use. I do like to have the average 950 millimeter shell velocity, but I do enjoy the fact that since I use high explosive most of the time, that HE piercing advantage. So I'm still on the edge of which one to use myself. But there are pros and cons to both, so it'll be up to you to decide which is best for you. I can't really say which one's better. And then that will wrap up today's video. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and join me tomorrow while we go over the second set of torpedoes for Javelin. Valkyrie does not get any. Electra pretty much only has upgrades. You lose a little bit of fire rate, but it's 0.08 rounds a minute, so there's not really much any difference there. Same thing with Icarus, same all advantages except 0.07 rounds a minute, so even less. However, Javelin actually has quite an interesting torpedo option. So we'll be going over her tomorrow. So again, thank you and take care.